What is up, folks? I hope you're enjoying this beautiful day. If you are a resident of Texas, or at least in North Texas, because it is the first week in January and it's over 70 degrees. I tell you what, we just got back from some of our blended, blessed family from a winter trip in New Mexico. And although it was a very beautiful place, and I will be more than happy to visit again during the spring or summer. Too damn cold for us, but we're about trying new things and getting outside the box and doing different experiences that we have done, or a lot of things we haven't done. And this is something we've had on the list for a long time. And anyone that knows us knows that that's what we do. We try to go one new place a year. And not that we have to explain this to anybody, because I never feel the need to explain to anybody that I don't have to, or defend anything if I do not think they're valuable. And even if I value them and trust them and love them, doesn't mean I'm going to do it then either. But something that I wish I would have started with my two oldest kids when they were younger was, uh, I don't necessarily know it was a mistake, but something that my mom really didn't do. She really didn't understand it, I guess, and something we do as parents. In the process of trying to give our kids a better life, what we call a better life, and give them the things we didn't have. I think that we really fuck it up sometimes by spending more money on them instead of spending more time with them and buying them more things. And this is something I want to get into, so people can give us credit, so people can give us the thumbs up, the high five, the pat on the back that we're doing good. And what's fucking doing good, man? A bunch of debt, a bunch of bills, a bunch of give them more shit that they're not going to play with, and they're going to forget about it in a couple of months, or even before then. So we can buy more stuff to keep up with our other stuff, having friends. I mean, I've done it, didn't know I was doing it, and when I did it, I put a stop to it. But something we try to do with these twins, and now that we're grandparents and we're about to be grandparents again in our blended family, is not that we don't have anything to put up underneath the tree, but what we started doing was, we really started doing this a few years ago, and like anything, it takes a while to develop stuff. So what we started doing was, we don't give the kids an option. We don't go and ask them first what we're doing. We let them know what we're doing, which is we started paying for more experiences. So we bypass mostly all the gifts. We bypass all of that, and because even if they do not thank us now, they will thank us for it later. Because if I look at my two oldest kids, they hardly remember anything I bought them, but they remember every Six Flags trip, water park trip to the beach, whether it be motocross, whether it be BMX, whether it be sometimes it was just staying at the hotel pool. They remember every trip we ever took, but they could not remember everything I bought them. Everything that we buy 'em, our kids, or do something for our family, or even for ourselves, if it doesn't add value, it's just a show off for other people. There's any way you slice it, that's what it is. We tell ourselves what we think we deserve and what they think they deserve. And if we all got what we deserve, this world would be a significantly different place, because when we think it's something we deserve or our family deserves, of course it's always for the better and always for the positive, right? Correct? Because it's never bad. If we deserve it, or our family deserves it, it's always for the best and always for the good. And that's something to think about. I don't think a lot of people think about it that way. So we enjoyed the trip. We ended up having to come back a little bit early because a snowstorm hit, and we were going to get trapped in the mountains pretty quick. But never again. Hey, that's a valuable experience, and I wouldn't replace it for anything. But it did validate that we are water, beach, lake, river people more than anything. So, but you don't know till you don't know till you try it. And some people will never go outside their comfort zone. The comfort zone is a very dangerous place. It feels safe. It gives you the feeling and perception that it's safe, but it's not. Nothing grows there. And I know that's kind of cliche. Y'all probably hear that all the time, but it's the truth. You don't really start growing and evolving until you do things that are uncomfortable, and you live a life of being uncomfortable. That's what I've chose to do. I choose that. I crave it. I keep myself in that mentality. Anybody that's been around me the last 5, 7 years, they know that. Anyway, I wanted to get back thinking about 2020, thinking about going in not only to a new year, but a new decade. For those of us my age, in my age group, give or take 5 or 10 years, wow, 20 fucking years ago since the year 2000, and Y2K was supposed to wipe us out, huh? Done with the day, done with the workout, done with the run. Did some other responsibilities and obligations today. About to put some on the grill. Got some winter brew left over from the trip. Samuel Adams cold snap. So why not? End of the day when I'm done. And was thinking about 2 decades since 2000. Thinking about where we're at in life, how quick life goes by. That sounds cliche as well. Sounds kind of generic. And we often don't think about the things we coulda, shoulda, woulda, or did, wish things we would have changed until it's too late often. We don't know how much time we have left. We have little to no control over it. Some things are in our control and some things are not. But it is our responsibility for a lot of things in this life. Our happiness, our joy, who we let in, what we let in, who we involve ourselves around, what environment we choose to be in. And we just think about how quick that last year, last 10, last 20 years went by. For those of us in my age group, we're in our mid-20s, man. 40-something sounded like a long way off, and now it's here. And if you're in your mid-40s, it's not a negative statement. It's just the truth. Our life's more than half over. And then even if you live to be 90 or 100 years old, what quality of life have you having? Because a lot of people will live to be an old age, but they would have died a long time ago because they quit living. And we're supposed to be living every day to the fullest. What would we do if we knew it was our last day on earth? And just thinking about some things, the bullshit we allow, what we put up with. We'll start tomorrow. We'll start next month. We'll start Monday. We'll start next year. And this is another thing. Before I get on this, and usually I don't have my notebook in front of me, but I do today because this is something I've really been working on. I don't make New Year's resolutions. I think they're bullshit. I think they're a waste of time. Kind of like motivation. Motivation's bullshit. You have motivation from day to day. We're not motivated every day. A lot of days we don't feel like doing that or anything else. You have to have a vision. You have to have a vision for yourself, and you have to do shit so you feel like doing other shit. Kind of like exercising. Anybody knows me, knows I spend a lot of my time training and exercising. It doesn't mean I'm a fanatic, doesn't mean I'm an expert. I do feel like I know a reasonable amount about it, just through experience and what I've been doing. And one of the things about it, whether it be sports or just any kind of training, I've done a number of different kind of training over the years, quite a bit. And part of that is, like I tell my family and friends, I don't think I've ever missed more than about 3 or 4 months, whatever it was I was doing, whether it was lightweight training, whether it was running, whether it was getting thin, whether it was bulking up, whether it was training for something. I think since 1986 that I've never missed more than 3 or 4 months. It's just consistency. And what in our life is consistent? What do we do every day? What do we show social media we do 90% of the time versus what we really do 80 or 90% of the time? Versus what we really live 10% of the time. It can be switched out either way. We want people to believe that we're living a certain life. So what we do on social media is we pretend. That's what we do. Like right now, I'm not manipulating the background. This is what it is in the background. You probably see the grandkids' toys. You probably see projects going on. Probably like a video from a year or two ago. Why people are not okay with being stripped down, uncensored, unfiltered, and being legit and real? So this is what this is going to be about. This is what anybody knows me knows this is not only my position, this is always my fucking position. This position will never change. The message doesn't change. I don't modify myself depending on who I'm around. If you don't like it, then don't listen. Don't be around it. But that's the problem nowadays. People are chameleons. They change whoever they're around. Whatever they think that they can gain something. If all you have to do is mainly tell Americans it's going to make them better looking, make them more popular, make them more money, and they got something to gain by it, they'll fucking do it. We're a lot of us are sellouts on a number of different things. So it makes me wonder, do we really believe what we say it is? Do we really want things to change? And like I said, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I believe what I try to do is I try to improve my life every year. That doesn't necessarily mean make more money. That doesn't necessarily mean buy something else, have another material value. It means we try to go a couple new places every year. I look at from my workouts to my family life to my education to whatever it is, to traveling. I try to improve every year Because let's be honest, most people get all these New Year's resolutions and you're fucking petered out by March or earlier. Just on a training aspect, that's why most personal trainers get y'all on the contract to these places, because usually you have to go ahead and pay the contractor. You're not going to finish. For the ones of you who do, good job. That's why when I am training, I don't do it that way, because I already know that's not going to, for most people, it's not going to last. That goes back to being motivated. You're motivated in increments, sometimes, some days, some weeks, some months, but not all the time. None of us are. That's part of it. So while I was doing my note taking, working on some future podcast material and writing material like I always am, I wanted to jump right on this today. And I may have to do this in more than one video. And I challenge us to ask us to, what changes are we making? What are we doing in our life? What are we allowing? And what's our fault and what's not our fault? If it's self-inflicted or it's not, and what the fuck are we going to do about it? So, let me jump into this, and I'm probably going to have to break this down. If I do, forgive me if it has to go more than 2 videos. I appreciate if y'all tune in and listen, because sometimes I think that people, they seem like they haven't heard some of this stuff. Or do we just stay in that much denial that we really don't want to deal with it? I don't know. We fuck around with this life like we have another one to spare. We really do. I mean, you really think that we got maybe 30 good years left in us, and then in those years is when usually health problems come. We don't feel like doing stuff. So if you're waiting until retirement, if you're waiting until you're a certain age, I'm gonna wait. People are always waiting on something. I'm waiting until the kids grow up to get a divorce. I'm waiting until this job, I'm gonna put this much time in, just when I get this paid off, or when I feel like doing it, when I get my feet on the ground. That day is gonna become no day. We all know that, and before you know it, you will have nothing but regret. We all got some, but we can fix it. All right. These are things I ask why. I ask why, and we often know the answer. So this is pretty extensive, and I'm going to run through it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick back up on the second one. And I think that, when I do this on a podcast format, we'll be taking questions. I might have somebody with me. I might do this one on my own and then have people on. Who knows? But I thought it was a beautiful day. It was a good day to do it. Matter of fact, I was in the middle of this. I was going to finish up. I just said, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to do a video on this right now. What are we going to change going into 2020? I mean, is it going to come? Are we going to change it before it's 2021? Or are we going to be in 2025, 2030 having the same conversations, heading towards retirement? Something to think about. And if you're younger than that and you've got time, then understand you got time, because one day you will not. If you're older and you're behind the curve, I notice a lot of older people get offended by this. I had somebody tell me this a while back that I dearly love. They said they used to get offended by the things I say, and they realized it was their life, and they couldn't do anything about it now. That they had settled for mediocrity and put up with bullshit and a bad relationship and a job they hated, and by the time that they figured it out, it was too late. This person I dearly love. So they told me, keep doing what you're doing, Jason. It is our responsibility. I feel like it is my responsibility to give anybody the tools or the message that wants to hear it. If you don't, then take it at face value, which I don't take anything at face value, and don't listen to it. Usually these people are the ones who don't want to fix anything anyway. They're very much like who they're going to be. So let me go over all these topics. These are profound. It's going to hit a nerve with people, and that's what it's supposed to do. If it offends you or pissed you off, then good. Maybe you'll change something. Why do we accept being fake, insincere? Why does image come before anything else? People not following through with their word. Why do we accept that? Why are we okay with people not keeping their word? Not once, not twice, but consistently and repeatedly over and over. As a society, we are okay with this. But going around people surrounding ourselves with anyone who will accept us, acknowledge us, and give us the time of day, or give us some kind of acknowledgement. We know we do not have to do this, and we know these people do not have our best interests in mind, but why do we feel the need to go around them? I'm just curious. One of my philosophies is we don't hold people accountable to follow through with their word, because we don't want people to hold us accountable. Kind of like this, and anybody that's around me knows I say this. Like I said a lot of times, things fit universally. That motherfucker ain't going to do it, so I ain't got to do it. We hold nobody accountable. We live in no accountability nation. That's what we do. We have created it. It is very much our fault. Why do we feel the need to go sit at a table, go hang around, go to family get-togethers, go to hang out with coworkers, whatever it is, social groups, for the need to feel accepted, when you know these motherfuckers get up and talk about you when you walk off? And why come you don't address it? For me, it has nothing to do if somebody thinks they're a badass. It has something to do is when you call people out, usually they don't have much to say. It makes them uncomfortable, because usually if you find these people talking about somebody, they're talking about you too. It makes them uncomfortable, not us. I can say it right down beside a motherfucker. What's up? Hey, go ahead and finish, please. But nobody does that. Nobody wants conflict. They want social disharmony is what they want, instead of honest conflict. But if you don't deal with it, I'm going to get back to that later. You'll deal with it later. Anyway, we care more about what people think of us than what we think of ourselves. When will we put a stop to this? Other people's opinion, judgment of us, than what we think of ourselves. And in the end, it doesn't matter. But what's in the end? It's one of them things that somebody told me a while back, that them toughing out their relationship and their marriage and the job they hated, which was the job paid well, and they had a lot of nice toys, and I know these people, they're extremely unhappy. They told me it'd be worth it in the end. My question was what's the end? The end of your life? That's worth it? Look, believe me, there's no extra credit for putting up with bullshit your whole life. The universe rewards people who put their foot down and are willing to go through the sacrifice and suffering to do so, not for just taking shit. I know people that have been working hard, been good people their whole life, and all they've been doing has been taking shit, and they go to their grave just the same way. When we put our foot down on life, things change. But we are consumed with entertainment, materialism, filters, and pretending. Most of social media is pretending. It's pretending to be something we're not, so we can get fake credit from fake people. And we seem to be okay with it. We're consumed with anything that is watered down that makes us not have to deal with anything. We all want to be something we're not, it seems like. If not, then why wouldn't we not reward, compliment, and appreciate authenticity, realness, and being legit? But it seems like the world really, understand this, that is not rewarded. People say that, it sounds good, but that's not what they do. We all know that. And if right now, if you're fuming, then it's you. Then you need to fucking fix it. We want people to think we are living a life that we are not, for the most part. We do not care about being genuine or any of those things. We care about being accepted. We care about being liked. We do not care how fake they are, how much they talk behind our back, as long as we get more likes, more followers, and more acceptance. That's what we want. We care more about we actually care about what people say behind our back, and we shouldn't. Let me tell you something. If they're judging other people in front of you, then they're judging you as well. Let me tell you something else. For everybody you think is not judging you, or excuse me, if you're worried about people judging you, they're fucking doing it, man. Whatever you think that they're saying, or you're trying to stop them from saying, or you're worried about they're saying, they're fucking saying it, man. Just fucking who cares? What people think of us is none of our business. What we think of them are none of their business. It's as simple as that. We are consumed by nothing that matters, it seems like. I don't even know if I have enough time in this. So I'm going to go down the list. We are offended by anything and everything because we choose to be. Why do we go to get together, social events, parties, dinners, event with people who don't like us? Why do we feel the need to go around family? It's still your dad. It's still your mom. It's still your brother. It's still your sister. I'm sorry. Hold on to your chairs on this one. You ain't obligated to go around one of them motherfuckers, except your adolescent children. It does not matter if they are blood related to you. There's nobody that can ruin your life quicker than blood related family, married into the family, or people you fucking grew up with that you've known, because they attach it to longevity and how long that you are connected, or blood. Ruin your life quick. Doesn't mean everybody does. We all know that's true. We just don't want to address it. Why don't we let it go? Or excuse me, why do we let it go? Why do we not call people out? Why do we accept mediocrity? Why do we accept mediocrity instead of work on ourselves? Because other people accept it as well. When other people accept a mediocre life, and it has nothing to do with money, they want you to accept a mediocre life. Kind of like the person that might be on drugs, the person that might be that have gave up in life, the person that don't want you to move, don't want you to take the other job, don't want you to relocate. They start hating on you like that. It's easier to take the path that's already cleared, that's familiar, than it is do things hard. And people like that, kind of like being an addict, you won't find addicts hanging around people who are clean. You won't find lazy people hanging around fucking workers. You won't find people who think outside the box really hanging around somebody who has a real restricted mind. You might have to deal with them, kind of like somebody that's open-minded really don't like people who are fucking racist, man. I mean, the list goes on and on. We are offended. The reason we get so easily offended because the only thing you have to do to be offensive is tell the truth. All you have to do is tell the truth and keep it real, and you're fucking offensive. Remember those. That is one of the key points of today's society. Don't attack no one. Do not personally say names, do anything. Do not attack religion, do not attack race. Just fucking simply tell the truth and keep it real, and you're fucking offensive. That's all you have to do. Why would we rather be around toxic people, friends, family, whoever it is, or in a relationship and staying miserable instead of being peacefully alone? I see this a lot. We have quite a few friends like this. A lot of people, this is what they do. They will sabotage every positive person in their life, everyone that tries to help them, especially people in toxic relationships, because this is what they do. They will go back and tell people later that they wasn't there for them, that you walked out on me. But remember, that's a victim's mindset. To victims, you can never be there for them enough. It doesn't matter what you do. It's always, you're the bad guy. So what people like this do is they run off the valuable people in their life. So they default back to that same person, whether it be a woman, man, woman, whatever it is. And then they'll go back and tell them you wasn't there for us because you didn't accept that they were going back or letting that person back in their life. And sooner or later, you have to walk away from the people. Hitting a nerve with some people, or just this, you can identify people you know like this, because I know a list of them, and I love these people. But sooner or later, you have to leave them alone, because what they do is they want someone to tell them that it's okay to go back. So they will keep the people around that let them stay like that. If you really care about people and you love them, you can't continue to let them do that. So you may not can do anything about it, but you have to eventually make a decision that you're gonna leave them alone, and you've extended the olive branch and helped them as much as you can. You're gonna have to walk away for your own mental health. Why are we okay with allowing people to devalue us, whether it be friends, family, employers, spouse, or partner? We let them tell us what we're worth instead of us making a stand and letting them know whatever it is that we may have to do this right now, but we're not going to continue to allow this. If you don't know your own value and you don't know your own worth, you can't expect other people to. If you don't know what you want in this life, you can't expect other people to. Whatever it is, if you don't speak up, if you don't make a stand on it, you will get ran over your whole fucking life. And we'll get to the other point in a minute. Why does material objects, debts, new car, new truck, toys, whatever it is, why does that get more attention than someone being genuine or giving? Or how about this? How about the people that give up those things? How about the people that walk away from that life, that go to minimalism, that are out traveling? Maybe they're living in an RV, or they choose to take a job for a third or half to get that stress off of them, to get that shit that's eating them up, to live a more fulfilling life with their family or loved ones. Why is that not valued more than you put a new car, you put a new truck, put a new material object, fucking likes, blow up, compliments? Say you just gave up all of that, you're fucking crazy. But to me, what I've realized is all of us who do the other, the constant debt, the keeping up with the fucking Joneses, keeping up with your other stuff, having friends, trading in constantly, that's fucking insanity. That's what that is. Why do we give so much power to that? Bought your kid a $30,000 car. And we convinced ourselves and them that they deserved it for whatever reason, but not the kid that worked their ass off to buy a $3,000 car themselves. I do experiments like this all the time on social media. It tells us exactly where we are as a society. And you almost know who's the one that's going to give the likes and who's not. When we do shit like that, we're not doing it for the kids. We're doing it for us. We can tell ourselves whatever we want to, but we're doing it for credit for us, not them. Everything that we do or buy that doesn't add value to our life is for fucking fake credit. And I just said that earlier, but that's the truth. It's not to add any value. It's so look at me, I made it, I'm doing good. Again, whatever fucking making it is. We buy our kids anything to show off. The kids didn't do shit, we did it. Kids ain't running shit. Contrary to popular belief, kids ain't running shit. But we let them run everything. When someone is building something from scratch, business, side hustle, part-time business, most people are anything but supportive. Let's say you get a basic ass job. There's nothing wrong with any kind of basic job as long as you're working hard. Because for most of society doesn't like lazy people. If you get a basic ass job, your fucking feed will blow up. People give you likes, give you comments to tell you congratulations. Start from scratch. Start building something from yourself. Work on anything. You'll get laughed at. You'll get made. I mean, they'll make fun of you. They'll speculate. They'll talk behind your back. Like I said, they'll be anything but supportive. Start doing that little statement y'all see on all over social media. Start doing something for yourself. You'll start pissing a lot of people off. Well, that's what it is. Because if you stay the course, no matter how tough it is, then they know you have options. People don't like you to have options. They like you with them. We don't always give family and loved ones, we give them advice that what we think keeps them safe, not what's best for them. And usually it's what we think is best for us, not what's best for them. If we are struggling, going through something, we'll get a lot of attention. Victims get a lot of attention. People like to see us struggle. But when you find a way to get out of it yourself without asking people for stuff, you ever notice the tension goes away? These are all things to look for. These are things that probably y'all already know, but some of y'all haven't heard it this way. We allow too many people to not only be the victim, but stay the fucking victim. Victims do not want the tools and resources to change. The reason they don't want to do that, because if they actually have them, then they actually have to acknowledge them and do something about it. We enable, sugarcoat, censor, water down, fluff up, clear the path, remove every obstacle, manipulate the environment for our loved ones, our children, everyone around us that we care about. And then we want to give them credit for success. Fuck, anybody can do that. Fuck, that's easy. All that shit, that's the society we live in. And that's why we're so fucking offended. We do all of these things and we expect people to actually be able to handle things constructively, tackle and navigate through challenges and adversity. We really expect that. We haven't gave them no tools. We do everything for them. We expect that they're going to be able to figure those things out. Think about that. All we have to do is keep it real, tell the truth, hold people accountable, and we are fucking offensive. That's the truth. And if my language offends you, then you probably need to get the fuck off here too. Last thing y'all should be worried about is somebody's language. There's a whole bunch of other shit to be offended by. Why are we okay with what everyone tells us at face value? Whatever the fuck someone says, we just take it, especially if it's a person in a position of authority or position of power that we think maybe has money. We listen to people with money oftentimes and we don't even know their formula of how they got there. We consider them successful. It don't matter. We don't even know if they fucked people over. Did they shortchange people? Are they shitty employers? Did they steal? Did they rob? Did they manipulate? Did they embezzle? We'll give them credit. We need to fucking check ourselves on a lot of stuff. When we take stuff at face value and we do not question it, process it, analyze it, even if deep down we know we need to be asking questions, what it makes us do when we don't deal with it is it makes us become bitter, pissed off, and makes us have hate later. That's where all jealousy and insecurities and bitterness comes from, and that's what turns to hate. So, how can we stand up for others when we can't even stand up for ourselves? Another thing, the nice guy, nice person, understand this. The nice guy, nice person does not have one thing to do with being a good person. Go do your research on that. Nice people often cause the most problems. They're not dealing with stuff. They make the problems bigger. We are in constant competition with anyone and everything except ourselves. The only person we should be in competition with is with ourselves. We're out comparing ourselves to people's highlight reel on social media, and most people aren't living that. We are stuck in traditions, habits, which leads to mediocrity. Just because we've been doing it a certain way, a certain long, it doesn't matter if it's family, doesn't matter if it's religion, whatever it is. Religion is just usually a bunch of made up shit that we follow, that we won't question on anything. And it gives us a reason to do things without explanation. I have a lot to say on tradition. I'll get on that later. It doesn't mean all traditions are bad, but when you say we've always done it that way, it's tradition. Well, I want you to sit back and think about anything from family to workplace, and you've heard traditions, and you have to probably, if you've got ready to question it or you've doubted it, you just didn't want to hurt the elders' feelings, so you never brought it up. I got no problem wiping my feet on most traditions, because there's so much shit that needs to change. Just because it was old doesn't mean it was good. Why do we accept this? Why don't we celebrate? Another thing, why do we celebrate longevity like it always constitutes a celebration? Longevity doesn't always equal a job well done. If we have been fucking miserable at a job or a relationship for decades, a lifetime, then why do we tell people good job? It could be a few years, it could be decades, it could be a whole fucking lifetime. Even if we know these people are miserable in one or both, or ourselves, we'll tell them congratulations anyway. How about we start celebrating getting out of stuff? How about we start celebrating the ending of stuff? Because it takes more guts, more fucking stamina, more sacrifice to fucking start over and get out of that and totally change our life than it does stay and fucking be comfortably miserable. We need to ask ourselves that. Why do we always celebrate longevity? Why do we always give credit to that? Just because something's been going on a long time doesn't mean it's positive, nor it needs to keep going on a long time. When are we going to quit wasting time and allowing others to waste our time? When are we going to quit self-sabotaging our life and defaulting ourselves back to the same people in the same environment that put us in that position in the first place? When we quit settling. We're only here for a limited time. And to me, where I'm at, if you're not pursuing something that you are madly passionate about, then we are wasting our time. We fuck with, like I said earlier, we mess with this life like we got another one to live, and we don't. We all have something great to offer people, and most of us are not doing that. So we can buy something, so we can get another debt, another bill. I feel like if we figure out a way to totally go a different direction, and we actually take action on our life, we have a story to tell that is, for myself, is very profound, often a very profound and stressful, difficult life. Intense, I put intense, say intense, that we can, and I feel like it is my obligation and duty to help anyone who wants it. But usually what we do is we listen to the people who are celebrities or athletes. We live in fear and anxiety of failure, so we do fucking nothing. That's the truth. As a society, we don't always listen.